are back here for the last match of today. Just today, of course. We still have 2 more days, but the last match of the day for the Intel Extreme Masters at Gamescom with CSGO. And to have a nice little chat with us, we've got a very special guest joining us here on the panel. It's going to be Hastro, managing director for Envious. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Are you enjoying this crazy new tournament format that's pitting everyone against each other, breaking feelings?
Yeah, I am. It's got a bit of like a soap opera / game show kind of feel to it, and everybody's having a good time, so it's been great.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that you put it that way, because when the players come up here and they're talking about, well, we've got all these alliances going on, and then we have OG on stage. He's like, well, which box would you like to pick? And he's just like all super joyful, and the players are getting really into it. But let's talk about the tournament a little bit first, and then of course we want to hear a lot more about you, your team, your players, how everything's working out there. About the tournament overall, first of all, you guys are performing at the top right now here at the Intel Extreme Masters. A lot of people were a little bit not so sure, uncertain about how the results were going to be after the roster changes, but how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all unsure too. I mean, yeah, it's really internally with the team, all the players on the team, they've been working really hard, and we knew that they had a good chance coming in to really do some great things. And obviously they've come in, they haven't lost a match yet. They're 3-0 on their maps, and yeah, we're happy. But one thing I've kept telling them is just to keep staying hungry. That's the hardest part. When you have a new team, the results are usually like very good because you're all motivated to, prove that you're one of the best teams still with a roster change, and everybody puts all the effort. But the hard work comes when you've had some success early on, and then it's really hard to maintain that.
Yeah, that can definitely be a tough thing here. Of course, like you said, I mean, it's very early on. You guys starting off with a bang. Let's talk a little bit about the team as a whole, how you're performing very well. Of course, Nacho, you've been talking constantly about, well, so far so good. But again, I mean, Apex specifically, hot or cold sometimes. I mean, you have that happen with a lot of these players. Do you have any questions for Hastro about that? What his concerns may be going into not just the rest of this tournament, but of course many more tournaments coming up, big ones.
No, I mean, I guess a good question here would be considering these teams, these players have been playing on their rival teams. Obviously, Kenny Apex have been playing on Titan. There's a lot of history, and BK was talking about this before. He said, all the old grudges are over with. But what's the situation from your standpoint as a manager?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the most history, obviously, with the players dating back the years that they've been playing with each other and amongst each other in France. But I think I have a good handle of how the situation kind of played out. And right now, I think both teams undeniably needed a change, or at least like we're looking to have a refresher or have something happen within their teams to have better results. And this kind of almost seemed inevitable, and a lot of the fans were pushing for it. I think for a while, like saying there needed to be some kind of change one way or the other, whether that be with Titan or that be with Envy.
So how did it come about? Was it a management decision in the end? Was it the players themselves that decided, okay, this is what we're changing?
Yeah, I mean,
there's also a third real tricky question that I want to push on you. Was the decision to only make it 2? Because there's a good argument that you could have done 3, but obviously that would have lost your legend spot at Cologne in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I think everybody on the team is aware of that. But yeah, to be completely transparent about it, I guess, yeah, I think it was just a situation where the team just wasn't gelling together anymore.
Yeah.
To keep it quite simple, I mean, it's just plain and simple. It was just they weren't merging the way they needed to merge in game, the way that the team was performing in the early part of the year when they had won the major and when they won the X Games gold medal, and just coming into our organization, they went on to win 2 championships with us too, like pretty early on at the beginning of the year. Right. I think they brought us 3 or 4 championships now at this point, but they just lost that chemistry, and their desire to continue to play with each other. And anytime that happens, it's just the way the business works, in esports. It's just in all sports, I think. When players aren't getting along and the chemistry is not there, you trade players, you change, and it's something normal. It's not something to be angry about. The way the situation kind of worked out, it wasn't just a management decision. I didn't go to my players and say, we're releasing Richard and Eddie and picking up Kenny and Dan. No, they kind of came to me with the problems, and I worked my hardest to try and get them to resolve it amongst themselves. This is the team that I wanted to play for us, those 5 players. But when I figured out that it absolutely was not possible, then I had to play my role and do my job and actually make the change happen for the team, and we were able to do that and work it out with Titan. And Damien, the owner of Titan, thanks to him for making it go smoothly, and everything was worked out in a professional way, just like it should be.
How hands-on are you from a day-to-day with the team? Because obviously Next is there as the coach.
Yeah.
I assume he does the majority of the tasks with the team. So how hands-on are you as a former Call of Duty commentator, by the way, like a Call of Duty legend?
Yeah, well, you know, I can't say enough about Next right now. Like, he's doing a great job, and I think he's continuing to improve. But he's done so much for the team. I mean, there's a lot of like I said, I'll be completely transparent. Maybe that's why you guys brought me up here, so we can talk about some of this stuff. You know, we're growing in esports, and it's a business, and there are a lot of things behind the scenes. Like, the players have to have their own companies, you know, to receive funds from us and things like that. You know, when we have to pay the players their salaries, they have to have companies set up in France, and Jordan has to manage those, and the accounting and the legal work and all these things. He has to do that aside from booking travel for the team, keeping their schedule, making sure they're at practices, and, you know, doing all these things, debriefing them at events. You know, there's just this world of stuff that he has to do. So,
and these are all things that obviously the average viewer would have no idea happening in the background.
I think there's a lot of that stuff that's not out there, you know, so maybe I'll give you a little insight about it. But Jordan's been doing a great job, and I'm really involved with, you know, kind of working through him with the players too. But I'm really close to the players, and I try to be I even, like, you know, tell them my thoughts. I watch all of their games. I watch a lot of Counter-Strike. I play a lot of Counter-Strike. I've made it to Supreme, pretty much solo queuing. So there's a little credibility.
I mean, you know, as a console guy, that's pretty impressive.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm a PC gamer too, but yeah. So
solo queuing, just asking for trouble.
You know, I've been joking with the players that when we boot camp here in Cologne over the next 10 days, that I want to play a match in the boot camp. So I'll sub somebody out and just look. I just want to see where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just a couple of rounds.
We had like some DDoS issues in some of our online matches, and Jordan had to come in, and I think it was on Cobble versus Nip, and they like, he didn't get one kill, you know?
You're like, tag me in.
So I was just like, I'm going to make sure that next time somebody gets DDoS, you know, I've got fiber in the U.S. I'll sub from fiber over there. I'll Jordan, you know, I got this. Don't worry.
That'd definitely be something to watch for all of us watching from home. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, sounds like you guys are in a pretty happy place. You guys are pretty happy with where you are. Of course, coming forward now, coming into this tournament, we talked about your results so far. They've been good on paper. Everyone's been happy with what they've seen from Envy so far. But there's this other side, right? We joked about it earlier. It's like kind of like a soap opera. It's got this game show feeling to it. What's your take on this view? Are you hands-on in this too? Like, are you all about the French-Australian?
I'm all in that. Yeah, I'm all in that. Like, they're playing, and I have to talk to Chad on the sideline, you know, and like to Sponge, and then I'm talking to, you know, Matt, their manager. You know, we're working this out. You know, it's like we're cheering for those guys. We want them to win. I think, like, we kind of gave them a little bit of a second chance. They had lost 2 matches yesterday. Is that right? Yeah. So they had 2 lives left coming into the day, and we kind of worked with them, but not to take anything away from them, because they played phenomenally, you know, in their matches today.
Right.
It was awesome. We were like all backstage, you know, watching their match versus SK, the last one, where they had this great comeback on their CT side of Mirage, and it was like a party back there for us. We were like just cheering them on, because we want to see them do well, right? Like, we want to make the tournament interesting, and I don't think it's a matter of, you know, us like manipulating the tournament for our results really so much, but it's like also helping out like the underdog, and like we want to see the Aussies do well. We just love those guys, so
I love it. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely making things interesting. We're having some fun stories develop here. On the other side of that, of course, even just now, TSM was like, well, we want to try to knock out the friends of Envy, because Envy is our number one enemy. I mean, how are you? Do you think you or your players, maybe individually, are very concerned about this, like, do or die time comes, maybe, you know, end of tomorrow or day 4, where it's like maybe just you guys and TSM left, or you guys and Mouse left? Is that something that you guys are thinking about going forward? Or you're just like, let's just have fun for now. Let's play every game as it comes, and then think about that when it shows up.
No, we're just having fun with it, man. I was like talking with Dupree, and we were trying to figure out the scenarios of whether like SK won, or if you know, Renegades won, and we were trying to figure out the scenarios of what was next. So like even TSM and us are like talking about it, just like what's coming next, you know, who's going to go, and can they break an alliance, you know, even in this situation. I think everybody's just having a good time with it, and that's really all that matters right now for the teams. I mean, everybody's like playing their hearts out, playing really good Counter-Strike, and we're just having a good time and trying to put on a good show.
Well, speaking of coming next, I mean, what is coming next for Envious? What is down the line? Obviously, you've just had this team shuffle. Clearly, there's obviously a lot of future plans going on there, because I'm pretty sure money may have changed hands or transfer fees or something in the background. So obviously there's a big future plan for Envy.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go too much into that detail, but we want to just take care of the players, from our perspective, from an organization perspective, as best we can. And from the get-go, we've been a traditional like Call of Duty organization, and now we have StarCraft professionals too, and
Right.
we, we're expanding. But with the Counter-Strike team, we really wanted to put intense focus on them and give them a really good platform this year. So yeah, we're just really trying to give them the best conditions to train as a team, especially now with the new lineup, and we're really working on getting them a really good training facility in France right now in Nice. So we're really close.
A gaming house, basically.
Yeah, basically. It's a villa.
It's a big place. I've seen pictures. It's good.
They call them villas in France. Yeah, so,
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful place, and it's
By the beach.
It's got a view of the Mediterranean from
The swimming pool.
It's kind of far off in the
I'm
distance,
so jealous
but-
right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm making some phone calls. I'm making some phone calls.
Yeah. but these guys work hard, like they work really, really hard. I think a lot of people take that for granted. Like
They travel a lot as well.
we travel so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But even when we made this change, like I popped into the TeamSpeak every day to talk to the team and just see them, and it never failed. I went in every day thinking that I would go in at a certain time and they wouldn't be there. They were there every day, every time I popped in.
Wow.
And it's the way they're working, and it shows. I think our team's playing really well, and hopefully they can take that over to the major.
So what made yourself and Envy basically decide to come into Counter-Strike? Because obviously there's a lot of talk, people wanting to push Optic in there, etc. What brought Envious into it?
I just love the game. I just fell in love playing the game and watching it, and I was so into it. I mean, I still am. I play as much as I can. I don't have much time, but we just loved it. Our staff loved it, and I played a little bit at 1.6, not very much at all,
Right.
like barely any. But I know the history of Counter-Strike and
Right.
what it means, and I was just really attracted to the whole community in general, but also the professionalism for most of the players and the organizations that are involved, and the tournaments, and just the fans. I mean, the fans are everything for us. It's like walking in some of these venues for Counter-Strike. This year has been phenomenal. Poland, the major. I had never been to one of the major Counter-Strike tournaments outside of ESL 1 Cologne last year, and to walk into an arena like that and see that many fans screaming, it was amazing. The Polish fans are incredible, and the whole global aspect of it. The fact that Counter-Strike touches so many people around the world. It's a beautiful thing.
Because obviously you talk about the professionalism. That's one of the big things I noted when I was coming across the Counter-Strike. Obviously, there's a lot of veterans in there that are very professional.
Long
And
history.
I think it rubs off on the younger guys. And I guess coming from Call of Duty, it's a totally different atmosphere because it's like yelling at each other. And
Yeah, but Counter-Strike has evolved over a decade or more, and Call of Duty hasn't quite had that decade point yet. We still got a few years to go.
it's also
in
consoles.
the
It's a bit more looser.
And,
so.
and I think that they're making big headway too. Those professionals, and they're learning and becoming more veterans in that scene.
More PR switched on,
Well, yeah, more of the veterans in that scene are being better examples, and I think it'll continue to grow. And I think that's what you see all over in esports. The longer
absolutely.
games go and the more people pay attention to them, the more players realize that they have a responsibility.
It's a great point, because we talked about this when we opened, right? It's like with so many of the kind of newer generation of CS fans now that started with CSGO, and only maybe recently after the esports scene really blew up, they're like, Intel Extreme Masters, I hadn't really heard about that because they've only played CSGO and not other esports either. But then for the old school CS players, they're like, Intel Extreme Masters, this is where it's at. We're so happy to be back here.
Yeah.
Definitely a long history in this game. And you see that when you enter for the first time. You see that whether it's as a viewer, as a player, whether it's in the industry, you're going to tell these guys have been around. They know how this works. They know what works best for you. And it's great talking to you and hearing about how you view the kind of outside factors about the facility, why that matters, and kind of the whole attitude and how you want to keep in touch with your players, because that matters, right? It's not just because you're playing at home and you're playing online doesn't mean that it's only the game that's going to affect your performance. It's everything else.
Definitely. It's very important to keep people happy when they're working. If you keep them, give them the conditions where they can do at the 100%, they're going to be more happy. They're going to be playing more, spending more with the game and
Yeah.
stuff.
Exactly.
Other the way, it could be the opposite. If you're not taking care of them, then they're not going to care either. It works the same way. It works the same way in any work, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
if
workplace.
if your bosses are being, not really nice to you, you don't really feel like pushing that extra
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
10%. But when people are nice to you, you want to work overtime.
You could do my job not to. Oh, you man, you got this. You got
He
it.
kind of
Exactly right.
He kind of does.
Well, he kinda, yeah.
Just for an
He
IP.
does, doesn't he? Yeah, he's in that position. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very similar positions for sure. But well, it's great to hear that. I mean, it sounds like you've got a lot of big plans, and things are going up and up for Envious as a whole, and of course for the CS:GO team. And so far this week, we talked about this earlier. You guys are performing here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Very exciting to see because there was a lot of talk when that switch happened, and some people were very excited, some people were a little skeptical. They were scared to be excited to some extent. But so far, you guys are proving that it's working out. It's been worth it. You just need more time to really solidify the results there. And sitting at 4 lives still, that's something here at the Extreme
I mean,
Master.
I'm so proud of them for just coming in here and performing. And like I said, they work so hard.
Yeah.
And maybe they won't always admit that because you don't always want to be like, oh, we really worked hard for
Right.
this. They're pretty modest about it. But I'll tell you that I'm really proud of what they've done.
Yeah, in a very short time as
in
well.
a short time.
Yeah.
And, like I said, it's just a matter of them staying motivated and hungry to keep the condition that they have right now and their form. And who knows? I mean, you never know with Counter-Strike 2. You come in on any day and fall flat too. So
Yeah.
tomorrow we're not finished yet. We don't have the trophy
Exactly.
in our hands, and tomorrow is another day of
Yep.
competition for us.
I mean, people are going to gang up on you now, no doubt about
Yeah,
it. That's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
we have 4 hearts still. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could be the very reason, though. Maybe everyone turns their back on you guys. It could happen, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we were talking to Sponge earlier, and he's like, well, one of us has to backstab each other at some point.
Yeah.
It's just when that point comes. It's a scary thing, really.
Yeah, we thought actually TSM was going to try to maybe, I don't know if it was possible, to maybe make us play Renegades.
Right,
yeah.
So they could, just go ahead and create a little rift in that alliance. But,
Yeah, they'd have had to have obviously shifted the pattern of SK versus Renegades, which is once again happening for the third time in a day.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, so far, of course, you were saying that you guys were having a party back there cheering for your buddies, the Australian buddies here in Renegade. 2-0 so far just today. Now it's the third map, and the last map we had Kerrigan helping out.
Yeah.
SK there. Saw some progress, but not fully gelled in yet. What do you think about this one? Do you think Renegade's just going to blast through 3-0?
I'm not too familiar with their Cobblestone, to be honest.
Neither are they.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I think Sponge is like a great. He was on stream earlier. We were sitting in the crowd, and like I tweeted about him. You just saw him giving this crazy speech. Like, you couldn't hear it, but he was just like
William Wallace in the box.
He was basically going William Wallace on his team, and then it showed, right? Like that was their first map of the day. They won it, and I think it carried over into the second map.
There we go again.
Come back, there it is. Yeah, and like. His attitude is he's doing it again. Is that live?
Yeah, This is for this match.
Yeah, see, there you go. Look at that. And I think like anything can happen when you have a team that's together.
So who you getting if they win?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true, right?
I don't know if we've really thought about this because we don't have to play. I think this is the final match of the day.
Right, not today.
So maybe there will be a little powwow later.
It will be the decider tomorrow if they win. Of course, it's a big one. I mean, it's 2-0 between them.
It's not going to be easy.
Cobblestone is actually. I mean, luckily I just got to speak to the manager.
This is what I'm going to go ahead and predict is that they actually try to pit CLG against someone because CLG is sitting on 1 life.
Right.
They want to get them out of the tournament.
So they could potentially like pit them versus like TSM, or maybe they'll ask us to take them on. So we can knock them out and give them, 1 step up on the ladder automatically. So,
give you another win bonus.
Yeah, so we'll see if that happens, if they manage to win this match.
Is the ideal situation here, now that you mentioned it, if Renegades win this, they give you CLG, which I assume you guys would be totally okay with.
Yeah.
And then if you win that, would you give them SK again, assuming they've already 3-0 them today?
4-0
You're like,
them.
why don't you go ahead and knock them out?
It's up to them, that's how an alliance works. Well, you gotta, we ask them who they want to play. But if it goes the other way, if SK win this one, I'm assuming they're going to pit us against Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably a given.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
almost,
But I think there's a high likelihood of that happening too, because the foundation of this SK team has actually some pretty solid results on Cobblestone.
Yeah.
So they've really, I mean, I really don't have a lot to base on when it comes to Renegades on Cobblestone.
I just spoke to the coach, and he was just for Renegades. Sorry, and just he said just before, he said Cobblestone's not great, but then again, it's better than our Mirage. So he's like they don't really play either.
Yeah, I mean, after that game on Mirage, I ran into a Sponge, and he just like shakes it. He's like, "Woo!" And then he just like walks away. He's like, "That one, that one was a rough one."
That was a great game.
And you know, SK is an amazing team too, and I think that lately they've been, you know, coming up and really becoming a lot stronger, and you know, they're fun to watch. But it's always, for me, like, I like to root for the Aussies because after their matches, it's just funny to see their faces, man. I love to see them, and like when they win, they're all happy, and it's always good to be around a happy Australian, you know. That's my mentality.
I like it. I like your formula coming in here. They're definitely an animated group of fun guys, especially when they're in good spirits. Like, it really emanates to other people around them, and they're just here to enjoy, you know, that moment. They're like, yeah, well, we won. Really happy about it. We can't wait to select the next matchup. And they're like getting all into it. Sponge, of course, being on stage with OJ, having great chats with him after their wins. Yeah. It's been very fun to watch. Well, it sounds like, and it looks like both teams are pretty much ready for the Knife Round. Again, last match of the day. So, I mean, Hastert, you guys, again, like you mentioned, sitting at 4 lives. You guys don't have to worry about anything else for at least today. Have a good night's rest. Come in stronger tomorrow. Do you think, what's the probability here that you guys finish the tournament, like win it with 4 lives?
I mean, we deserve like a new hashtag on Twitter or something for that. You know, like that's, you know, we might have to change our account to like NV4 Heart or something.
I think the tournament will end pretty quick if we end with 4 lives as well.
I
think we'll be early Saturday if that happens.
You guys can go have beers early.
That would be great.
Yep, make it happen.
Okay, we'll celebrate. There you go. It's on you guys now. Well, 9th round underway, so we will be getting into the last match, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it is going to be another rematch between the Renegades and SK Gaming. I mean, before we jump into it, thank you so much for giving us time here on the panel. It was great to chat with you, Hastert. Of course, all the best of luck to you and your organization and the CSGO team here at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. It's been a pleasure. Knife round is done. Let's go straight to the very last match of Day 2 here at Gamescom for the Intel Extreme Masters.
Thank you very much, Chober. It is time for our final game of the day, as he said, and it's another rematch of SK Gaming versus Renegades. Basically, they've played a best of 3 now. I mean, they've technically already won that, Renegades, because they've 2-0'd them today, but we're going to play that third map anyway. We'll just turn it into a longer best of 3. It's going to be Overpass. No, it's not. It's going to be Cobblestone. What do you think to this one? We heard there some of the thoughts from the guys who were like, really, Renegades don't play a whole lot of Cobblestone, but interesting that we heard Demon talking about what their coach said, which was, yeah, we don't play a lot of Cobblestone, but it's actually better than our Mirage, which they beat SK earlier on with a 16-14 scoreline. Really close game, that one.
That's a ballsy thing to say. I mean, Mirage was very close. You know, Cobblestone's gonna be a very difficult map, especially against a team like SK who've beaten Titan, who've beaten Luminosity back with their old roster, who's now teamless currently, back at ESWC. So there's a lot of good results for SK Gaming. There's a lot of good potential out of them, but they're missing Freeze. They're missing their main opper. They've got Nico coming in. They got Cadian picking up the op. Not sure if he's gonna be maintaining it though this time. So we did see Nico switch over to it at the end of that Mirage match.
Interested to see though, and you know, you mentioned that SK have had some good results, but we shouldn't forget that this is the SK Gaming without Freeze, who's on holiday currently. Obviously, with Nico standing in for him, and you know, Cadian also on a trial basis, really, with the team. So this is certainly going to be an interesting one as to how SK can adapt to this one. They've already lost twice to Renegades today, and losing here would leave them with just 1 life remaining.
Yeah, they'd be tied with COG. Looks like Asilian has made his way in towards the A site. We're going to have JKS trying to protect it, though, as you see the rest of the team going over towards B. Azur picks up 2 big kills. And now it's Asilian back on A, and you have Sandin, and now Katie, the last man alive, over towards B. It's a 2-on-2 situation. And you see the health bars aren't that healthy, as Asilian is now the last man in a 1-on-2.
Well, he's going to peek here by the door. Quick hide behind the rock, and the nice little peek will knock Asilian down to just 19 health, but he's picked off 1. Can he get a second? It's just Sponge remaining here for Renegades with 50 seconds still to go. Asilian's got all the time in the world for this one, but it's going to be Sponge that peeks out, and that will be Renegades picking up pistol on CT side.
Well done by them. I mean, considering they read into the play of SK Sinistilian via himself over towards A. And I do have to point out one thing, you know, after that last match, we saw these two teams play. I saw Cadian, and he looked frustrated. He looked like that was the game that they should have had. But, you know, kind of when you're in that really bad position on the T side, really struggling to get rounds, you go back to that kind of puggy status, just hoping that your team knows exactly where to smoke when you try to set up some sort of strategy mid-round. But, you know, SK, I think they actually do have a very good chance of taking this map. A very good chance of picking up this win against Renegades, considering they've been struggling all day. I think they have that drive to really pick up a lot of wins, and looks to go for a quick pick over towards Long on A.
I feel like SK Gaming are a team that really does rely on their mental state, though. I think Cadian in particular is that kind of player that if he's feeling down from, you know, what happened in that Mirage game where, you know, there were a couple of rounds that honestly they probably should have had by the end of it. I hope he's picked himself up, let's just say that before we get into this one, because no one wants to be sat on that one game remaining. And I think it'd be an easy choice for Renegades if they win this game. It's a totally easy pick for me that you're just going to say, all right, it's SKCLG first thing tomorrow morning.
That would be rough. And we do have a buy out of SK as they're pushing straight in towards the A site with a 3-2 split. They're going to pick up one kill, and they're going to pick up a second lucky out of Cadian onto Yam. Now, JKS going to be pushed in from multiple angles. There's 4 people for him to find. There's Havoc trying to come in to help him out. He picks up the first. He's going to be taken down by Nico, though. And that's going to be the bomb plant. SK looking strong on this force.
Well, let's see. There is Sponge getting one back. Havoc is going to come around the back of the site. He will find one. He's seen the second man as well. They know where Nico is. He's got the Desert Eagle in hand. There's a smoke now keeping him out of the sight, though. Can they pull this one off? There's a kid with Sponge, and Nico comes up huge. Double there with the Deagle, and Cadian on his feet for that one. Absolutely brilliant end to the round. He's tied up at 1 apiece.
Holy crap, those shots. Wow, that man really stepped up for them. And SK tying things up just like you said. Renegades, they had a 2-on-1 situation, yet they tried peek at the same time, but you can't depend on shots like that, at least to be able to counter. But here we go, into the next round. They're going to be forcing up yet again. They have the 5-7s, they have the armor, they have Yam on that scout as he's forced it back out of middle without getting a single shot on anyone else.
I mean, if a guy's going to hit shots like that, you know, peeking together or not, you're probably going to go down anyway. Brilliant stuff out of Nico. It's funny, really, how they've relied on him when he's been big so far this tournament. They've done well. There is Sandon, though, just going to take down JKS. Havoc will fall as well, and Renegade slowly but surely being picked off here. The bomb is still sat over towards this B side, and we're going to see Sponge have a peek out. He gets all the information in the world, and will take out Nico.
Can he get a slay? There's going to be peeking around that corner. He spots him out, but can't connect the shots. It's still going to be a 3-on-4 with Barry lurking over towards A. The bomb, though, as we can see, it's over towards B, and you can tell that Sponge is still trying to gather a little bit more information, see how many men are still here towards this B site so they can keep this stack on. It's already forced Yam to rotate back, and now this is going to be Sponge by himself with no HP to work with.
Yeah, where are you, mates? I think that's what he was probably saying at that point. There is Azza going down to Cadian, and it is now just on Yam. And he's looking like he wants to keep a hold of this scout. Not massive cost, but you know, they're going to be needing it for that next round as well, if they're to have any chance in that one. He's already way off, probably towards the tower or T-spawn at this point, so he'll keep that one through, but it is SK Gaming that go into the lead at 2-1.
I mean, the scouts, I guess it is definitely worth to save. I mean, a couple of nice shots in middle, maybe a headshot, or just the damage alone, followed up by the pistols if your teammate's not buying, can definitely come up big for your team and pick up quite a few kills and really kind of hurt the economy that SK's trying to build up. You can see the 2 Galils, you know, the P90, the AK still sitting on Asilium. And so they're not going to be able to challenge out on him. He's going to stay alive and save it. But SK, off the back of a phenomenal second round, do take the lead 2-1. Renegades, I don't think they're really going to invest into this round. Just hope Yam can pick up a kill, maybe go for a stack somewhere, maybe go for an aggressive push to gather information to spot out where SK is going. I mean, you can't really expect too much to happen in this round.
Well, we'll see how this setup goes. As you mentioned, with Yam holding on to the scout. Actually looks like they're going to be playing fairly standard, to be honest. Sending 3 men over towards B. They keep 2 deep inside of that A site. Let's see what they could do. Nico's already crawled up pretty far from this one. He's going to get the spray down, and that is Yam dead, which means the scout falls into the hands of Havoc. What can he do with that one? Nothing. He will fall as well. Sponge up close and personal will also die, and that's just the 2 men that were left in the A-bomb site. Just USBs, no armor, no grenades, no nothing to work with. This is going to be 3-1 SK.
Yes, it is. I think they're going to hope for Stone and SK to push out. I mean, with a P90, a couple of Galils, there's no reason to maybe not do that. I mean, if they even save the gun, it's not going to be the best of guns for them to have into that next round. But they're still taking the time. Bomb will finally get put down. Laser, JKS, looks like they're just going to, again, hope for those exit frags.
See if they even get that opportunity. I don't think SK are going to allow that one to happen. You can see them staying as a group, making sure that no one's hiding around any corners, and catch them out and steal a couple of weapons away. So they should all be safe from this one. I don't think the 2 remaining Renegades players are going to find anything. They should survive it themselves as well.
And I kind of like how SK actually got really aggressive towards long at B, because they knew they saved a scout into the next round. So instead of giving that ability to get on that platform if he wants to, or get boosted towards the backside of it on the lower part of the ground, they just shove him out immediately. They pick up an immediate kill onto him and don't allow him to have that presence or that pressure with that scout, which is the only gun they really did have.
Well, we see now the M4's been picked up, so Renegades on the buy. Other side, SK actually, Berry, for example, says, well, I feel like I'm just going to go here, keep hold of this P90. There's no head armor, so, you spray a few shots down and you can dink a couple of people at once with that P90 spray.
Yes, you can. You can just completely plow through them. So I think that's why he's kind of willing to stick with this gun because of how this game is played out. But you can see they've already gotten control of this platform yet again. Renegades are not able to punish out on this. You can see off to the side, it's going to be Azur boosted up towards the tree. There's a man back towards Found. A lot of smoke's coming through. Barry, though, able to open up on drop down. Sandin able to respond as well, and the push is coming in towards B. Barry secures a second, and that's that power of the P90 against no head armor on the other team.
Yeah, JKS and Yam, last 2 remaining here for Renegades. Yam's going to be coming all the way around the backside, but Asilium was ready for it. JKS, I'm not sure he's going to challenge for this one. He had an opportunity there to get 1 kill. He will peek out, gets himself Cadian. Cillian only got 7 health there, so he's definitely a target which he could take out. But it may be a bit of a peak fight here with Berry. He gets that kill as well, so SK now down to just 2. As I mentioned, Cillian only 7 health, but that bomb's going to explode. Right, final 2 players of SK have pretty much joined up. Nico is now on the hunt for this one. Will kill him off there right in the dying seconds of the round. It's 4-1 to SK Gaming.
I think the 2 kills that JKS just got towards the end aren't really that impactful because all he got was the P90, which did switch over to an AK, and a Galil. So it's not like they're really too hurt on losing those guns. They're like, all right, well, that's fine. We can still fully buy up. If you see Barry, he actually picks up a Mac 10 with 8,000 in the bank because he realizes they're not going to have head armor. They're not going to have anything. Let me just mow them down, build up that strong economy, get SK Gaming up quite a few more rounds, and really start steamrolling this game.
Get the money maker. You see a bit of a fake here from Cillian. He's going to smoke and flash out towards B, which is perfect for SK Gaming. Look at the minimap there. It's a 5-man stack from the Renegades in that site. They're not going to get anything from this because the push from SK is coming over towards A.
The thing is, SK's been hitting B almost, every single time. They have been able to go towards A and get that plant before. So they're really trying to guess and assume that SK are going to go for that direction to try to prevent them getting control, at least full control of that platform. But as we can see, there's no resistance met up for SK as they're able to get that bomb down on the A site. And that's going to force Renegades to probably charge straight in. So probably take these guns out of their hands if possible. All they have is really a couple P250s and a CZ to work with. But they're actually... they're boosting men, boosting a couple men up drop down. So actually they're trying to save these guns and maybe catch SK rotating out the A site towards middle.
Let's have a look at that one. A couple of them going around the back. He's buried through the window. He's lost out on that one. Havoc will get the kill. Gets himself a Mac 10, which is probably not going to do him all that much for this next round anyway. So
not what he's hoping for.
Not exactly ideal, but he does have JKS here. Their aim's going to be to take away one of the bigger guns, that AWP from Cadian, maybe an AK as well. But SK, I think, playing this one wisely, deciding not to push into those risky close quarters of the drop-down room. And that will be 5-1 But now we see Renegades back on the bite, including an AWP for Yam.
Yeah, this is where we need to see him start to really excel. This is going to be their backbone of their team, at least towards the A site to lock down control. SK, if they keep getting, this early presence on long B, Renegades are going to continue to struggle. Yeah, he's trying to go for the pick towards middle. They have JKS pushed up towards long A, and they have invested quite a few flashes and smokes on that B site to make sure they secure this. So SK, they're going to have to be forced to play for the retake on this area. But they do have a 2-3 split, so they're looking to maybe hit on towards this A site. If they can get a kill on a Yam or JKS, they're going to open this one right up.
I don't know if you could see him there. Obviously, our view through the smoke a little bit different, or whether that was just a wild shot, but it was damn close either way. And I see a lot of smokes, as you mentioned. Molotov towards drop down as well. Slowed them down from there is the push through. Berry actually got away with that one without taking any damage.
I think it's going to be a 3-2 split onto the A side potentially if SK feel confident enough. They know Yam has the ops. They can send a 2-man down drop and hopefully pick up this kill into Azur, who's just tucked in towards the side. If they can get this kill, they're going to open up this A site so easily. If the bomb's rotated back towards B, maybe they want to hit for this.
I was going to say that's an incredibly hard kill to pull off, but if you do it this way, with a flash through window, a Molotov as well, I think Nico saying it's maybe a little bit too risky for me, that one. I'm not quite ready to push out. Here's Zillion and Havoc. Possibly about to go head-to-head. Good counter flashes. Zillion completely blinded out in the open there. And they will end up exchanging, but Nico has now pushed through drop down. There's one man at doors, though. That's Azza who will get the kill. And Sponge might be the trick card here. Tucked away in the corner. Cadian and Sandon versus 2. Sponge is going to drop one. That'll be Sandon. It's now all on Cadian. Only got the pistol out right now and just ducking and diving to try and get away from it. Did finish off Azza, but it will be Sponge to finish off, and Renegades will finally get around back.
Yeah, we see the difference it makes too when they get that early control of long B and they don't allow SK to get free reign over that area. They had Barry trying to lurk towards A, but he got taken down by JKS, unfortunately, and they ran the clock out so long that they really had to force and couldn't clear out the site where Sponge was just kind of hiding towards the back. So it's kind of a little bit of a mistake of SK to not move a little bit earlier on, not really take into account where Sponge would necessarily be, but they fully bought up again. They had so much economy because of those last rounds, and Renegades, as we can see, not really too healthy. Just sit on a FAMAS for one. They haven't been able to build up too much, but they do have a decent amount of utility to work with. Still a lot of flashes, a couple of smokes towards B, and I think they're going to continue to lock down this platform. But Nico, he's pushed into smoke, he's in a Havoc, and picks up the first kill.
The thing about Nico is he's proven time and time again to be super dangerous, but there's JKS wrapping up 2 kills here for Renegades. And that surely is all she wrote here for SK Gaming. They've still got a minute to go. Well, they're going to need Cillian and Cadian to team up, number 1, and then to pull off a massive comeback in this round. Cadian will be crawling towards that A site. He does have the bomb in hand as well. As Cillian kills off Sponge, that might be enough to force a rotate here out of 8. Let's have a look at the minimap. They're holding pretty still there. And Cadian, like a ninja, has crawled himself into this A-bomb site. I don't think he can quite believe that it's as empty as it is. The problem is now, Yam's taken down a Cillian. Cadian's going to get the plant. Renegades are going to do a slow clap and say, well played, Cadian, for getting into that one without us noticing. The question is, though, can he hold against 3? If they do this right, this should be an easy finish for Renegades.
Yeah, JKS, he's fluffing his spray down, but eventually gets him the last few bullets. But they get the bomb down, most importantly, they get the money at least off of that. But again, not the most ideal situation. Renegades going to take another round on the board, and they're able to save an op. So it looks like they're going for a double op setup. Yam over towards middle, and I believe Havoc over towards B.
Solid round again from Renegades. Still just about enough money here for SK to buy up. In fact, more than enough money from that round. If I could actually open my eyes there and see. Have a look at this one though. A couple of rounds in a row from Renegades. And now a double AWP defense for them. Both Havoc and Yam holding one in hand.
And it's allowing Nico to push up platform yet again. Renegades have given away this position because of Havoc with the AWP not able to play in that close range, but it comes down to these peaks. If Nico pushes off to his side, getting caught up by Havoc. In the meantime, the rest of them are trying to work down drop down, where Azur, Sponge, and now JKS are all waiting. Yam pushed up long A. They know they're going B.
Well, here's the drop into drop down. Azur gonna get one, but he's traded off quickly. This is a nice little Molotov. Will be extinguished by the smoke. Sponge here, gonna turn around, drops one inside of the smoke. Cadian's running around, probably having nightmares from the last time he was in the smoke, trying to find himself a kill. Well, Nico will bring another one back, and it's 3-on-2. that advantage with SK Gaming. Yam's got a nice position here as well. They're probably not going to expect him to be coming in from long.
Well, now they know he's there as he does hit that first shot. The bomb has been placed, so Sponge gonna flash himself through the smoke, looking for the spray down, but he can't connect on Acadian. And now Yam in a 1-on-2 with only 41 HP. He's got a bomb to defuse. He has a kit. He could just stick this one. This could be looking very bad for SK, but there you go. Cillian doesn't let that happen, doesn't let their nightmares come back. And they do finally secure a round for SK back on the board.
Close one, though. A lot of action there inside a drop down, inside of the smoke. But with losing that one, you can see that, well, the Aussies not got much money to work with in this round. No armor, just a couple of upgraded pistols. And Berry's read the situation well again. He's gone back for his trusty P90 that we saw earlier.
Let's see, he's going to actually be very aggressive over towards the middle. It's going to be a 4-man stack out of Renegades on the B side. They do have so many 5.7s and P250s that they very well could pull this off. It comes down to if SK can read the situation correctly. Renegades are rotating 3 men back towards A, so they're assuming the hit's going to be there, and they actually might be able to catch him out with a perfect stack.
Let's see, 2 men crawling up. Oh, wow. Yam taken down there almost instantly. We do have JKS on the side itself, but he's going to be squeezed from both sides, I feel. Nico not quite finding him there. Did hear Sponge drop down, but wasn't able to get the better of that situation. We can see SK fast rotate from that one. Going to go straight over towards B.
Oh, Havoc, he's got the P250. Disconnect the first shot on Cillian. Can't get him down, though. And they still have Barry pushed in, drop down. Sending going to respawn with the first kill, though, on the attack on the B. Zamaltov's going to be raining in. Barry going to be coming around the corner. The P90 looking primed. He gets the first. No, he doesn't. Santa gets the burn damage through. And now Sponge is in a 1-on-2 with an AK. Very well could pull this off. Katie misses his first shot. And he'll miss the second. He cannot afford to do these.
Needs to hit those shots, that's for sure. Sandon on the bomb site itself. Sponge gonna creep around to him. Needs to get 1 kill early on in this exchange. Sandon, he's playing the game around it there, and he will push out. Kills off Sponge, and that will be SK Gaming having 2 in a row now. And 4 kills for Sandon that round.
Yes, he did. Great job by him. I mean, it was basically an eco out of Renegades, but that became really too close. I mean, a 1-on-2 situation. They killed 3 people off with just the 5.7 and P250s. Not a bad round for Renegades, but they're forced back on the buy, and they only have a FAMAS and just minor nades to work with for the rest of the team. They do have the op on Yam. He's glass cannon, but he's not really had the opportunity to shine this game so far. He had a great flank in a couple of rounds prior, but he's just not hitting the shots when it counts. And he's going to be rushed down. This is a big loss if he dies.
Yeah.
Are they going to check?
Oh, they walked straight past him there. Barry's going to pay for it with his life, and now JKS has heard that man come through window. It was a Cillian. They've traded there, and it leaves us with a 3-on-3. Here's Havoc from behind. He's got a free shot. He will dispatch of Sandon. Can he get any more? JKS has stayed pretty quiet here off to the side. Havoc coming in as well. Gets another kill onto Nico. And it's now all on Cadian, who misses another shot. And Havoc cleans him up for Renegades to bounce back again. 7-4, still in favor of SK though.
Well, you know, Joe, you pointed out earlier on about, the mentality of SK, and they need to rely on a strong mentality to maintain like a good performance in a game. And I think Cadian, after missing so many shots, is starting to go a little bit on tilt. Maybe it's time to give Nico over the op like we saw on Mirage and let him try to do some work with it, but they need to do something a little bit different. I mean, you're looking at a 7-4 scoreline. It's not terrible, but so many of these rounds could have gone a different way if just a couple more shots were hit and a little bit more attention was paid. But since pushed up platform, it's taken down to, it was like 4 health off of some grenades. And as you're looking for the slow push towards B, where you can already see Renegades waiting.
And that's the problem with that aggression, trying to get to the box as fast as you can from the T side. If Renegades gamble with it and drop 2 nades in there and they're timed right, then, well, we just saw what happens to that one. Here is Sandon actually will get Havoc. Looked like Renegades were trying to do a bit of damage from behind. There goes the flashes coming through. They're both there. Azza's going to line them up perfectly. He will get one with Sponge, and that's Cadian inside his smoke as well. And this time, that push towards B stopped in its tracks. Smoke, nades, and a lot of spraying through smoke, working out perfectly for Renegades.
Yeah, Azza actually deciding to keep the M4, not pick up an AK, so really interesting to see that. But you saw the flash come in. I think that was out of Nico, but right as he was thrown, he got caught out by Sponge, he got taken down. And then a great counter flash coming in as well allowed them to really just shut down that push towards the platform. Again, Yam trying to push up middle, trying to have some sort of impact on this game. And luckily for him, the rest of the teammates are really starting to step up in this.
This one, of course, an eco for SK. The Deagle, some P250s in there, but Renegade shouldn't be having too many problems with this round overall. And I say that with, you know, in the lightest of faults, because we have seen Stranger, that's for sure. Nico, who single-handedly won the round with his Deagle earlier on, he's going to land another fantastic headshot onto Sponge. Only needs to find 4 more to be as impressive as the last time we saw him with Deagle in hand.
Don't count him out just yet. His teammates have dropped through. Havoc going to be rushed on. He's going to lose that M4, and they've gained control of this area of the map. Yam going to be pushing through, though, trying to help out as Azur's on platform. They do have the man advantage. They don't have the armor or anything like that to work with, but they have Barry pushing up A. JKS again, giving the man to sit back and hold on towards the east side. He's going to spot him out and going to go for the spray down, but he's not really connecting his shots. Gets Barry down to 40 health. The nade might just be enough to connect. Gets him down to 5. And Sandin will spot out Yam looking for the charge through. The flashbang to come. He turns at the wrong moment, but Yam unfortunately not going to be able to go for the peak.
Well, JKS here as well will spot 2 of them. Does manage to kill off Nico, though, before he dies. And that's given them that advantage right back in their direction. Cillian needed to land that one. That's a fantastic headshot onto Yam. 2 more to kill off. Surely can hit the first one. He's run out of bullets. JKS will deal with him. It's 7-6. Renegades bringing it back close.
JKS picking up 3 that round and saving the out for Yam. Most importantly, this game is becoming very, very tight between these two teams. Some fantastic shots again out of Nico with the Deagle. But let's see, what do they do into this round? They've got all the needs to work with that they need. They've been very light on this A side. Like they've left long A control basically to Renegades. They've had JKS push up, they've had Yam push up and get this information. They've not really bothered to go for this direction. But seems like it's going to change pace, and Havoc going to spray them down. He picks up 2, and it looks like he might just barely escape with the help of that flashbang.
Not sure how he lived as long as he did there, but he's done his job. 2 men down. Barry and Cadian out of the game completely.
Thing is, SK should have seen that coming. Like they knew that they've had control of long A this entire time. They know that they've been flanked from that direction, yet they just push straight in with a flashbang out.
That flash I don't think went as intended there for Cillian. It was supposed to drop a little bit further. Either way, it didn't blind Sponge. And he's still going to be watching there. Is Yam coming forward? CZ to the face of Sandon. And then Cillian and Nico now, last 2 men alive. You can see the bombs with Nico. And he's just working his way through middle. Might get his hands on Yam here. Oh, in just a second, the timing there from Yam. Pretty damn perfect. Throws down a Molotov. Nico's going to charge him, but Yam gets the better of him. And it's 7-7. Renegades tying us all up.
Looks like Renegades might be able to pull off a first half victory as well. See on the side of SK, not a lot of money to use, not a lot of guns to buy up, but Nico does have that patented Deagle and the armor off the back of that. But let's see if they can come back this one. SK have been struggling on this T side after the initial fantastic start of them. They've lost the last 4 straight, and now the last 8, they've lost 6. But let's see, they're going down, drop down as quick as they possibly can. And they're going to get a lot of control. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. The spray's coming through. Cillian does get a fantastic shot on Azur, but there's still Havoc off the side. JKS here to help out as well. And this is going to be down to a 1-on-2. Yam going to be going for the flank. Again, he's gotten that long control every single time, and they're not going to expect him to be here.
Well, they should do, because he's done it about 3 times to them so far. There is Nico with the Deagle. Spots him out. That makes Yam's job all the more difficult. Smoke on the side. That's a decent little nade in. They're both at less than half HP, you know. A good bit of work with the CZ, especially when they're not looking. He gets the first. Can he get number 2 onto Nico? 34 health remaining for Nico. Surely Yam knows roughly where he is. He's got a kit here, just needs to land the shot. Oh, went for the shoulder. There's a peek out. Nico playing it perfectly. And SK Gaming going to take the lead from the first half here. 8-7 though, a real close one.
Yeah, it was very close considering this game started off. I mean, you think back to how that second round went. They lost the pistol, but off the back of Nico with a fantastic 2-1 Deags, was able to close out the round and get them back in the game. Then they were on a landslide from there on until Renegades finally figured out how to counter their pushes, just kind of hold them off towards B platform. Not to mention push out long A almost every single time. Like they were only punished maybe once for doing it, but even then, you had Havoc pick up 2 kills. You had JKS pick up 2 kills. So it's not like it was a clean trade at all for their side. I think that's maybe what Mouse Sports was kind of really frustrated with, the fact that they're running with another player. They don't have Freeze as a dedicated opper. They're changing up their strategies a little bit, being a little bit more puggy on the T side because they don't have that fifth man there. And it was just a really rough game. But CT side, you don't have to rely on strategy too much. It comes down to that communication, how well you can get some crossfires and counter nades in. And this could be the hat that they really start to run away with this game.
Well, let's find out. See what Renegades can do on T side. Looks like it's going to be a fairly speedy push over towards A for now for them. SK Gaming have 4 men stacked in the B side. Someone's having a party here at Gamescom as well, it sounds like. The push comes in, Nico again opens up the frags for SK, but the Renegades, they're in there. They're going to get this bomb planted with Azza, but can they hold the site? SK going to be pushing around from this one here. On the top again, it's Nico that picks off Yam, and they're all low HP. Here comes Nico again around the corner. How is he not dead? They will finally get the man behind them, but Azza is now 1 versus 3. There's a kit for Asilian. He's going to have to peek here any second now. Asilian on the defuse, and he's going to kill off Asilian. 2 more. Berry's got 7 HP. Diffuse here from Sandon. He's even in the wrong position. He's out of bullets. He's going to try and go in for the knife, but the diffuse comes down. And SK Gaming going to win the pistol. Another crazy one.
And no one died at the end of that round as well. Both men still alive as the bomb diffuse did come through.
He killed the first one on the bomb. I'm not sure how he didn't know the position of the bomb then.
Because the way the first diffuse came in as Cillian was towards the left side of the bomb, and then we had Barry going towards the right side. So he was kind of playing a different angle, hoping that he wouldn't shoot in that direction, and it worked out. I mean, it was a really rough spot to be in a 1-on-3 for Azur, but in the end, SK take the pistol, and Nico has them all coming towards long. This is going to be a little bit rough. He needs to back away, not lose this gun, but what a shot out of this man. Picking up 2, picking up the 3rd, and Azur will finally shut him down.
Yeah, gets an M4, but, well, how long is he going to hold on to that one, realistically? SK, well, he's just going to throw it away.
That's so damn smart.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that he's not going to last however long of that round was left, probably about a minute at least, even maybe a minute and a half. Throw it off the side of the
face of the earth.
Yeah, the face of the earth into the abyss, knowing that he can't get it back. So smart stuff, nonetheless. It's around for SK Gaming. Well, Renegades will buy up now.
Yes, they will. They do have actually a lot of AKs in a Galil. They don't have a lot of nades to work with, though. You can see Sponge just sitting on the smokes, but you're seeing how they're playing this one a little bit different. They're not rushing straight towards that B platform. They've been heading A time and time again so far, and they've been trying to get that early control of the A side, not kind of rely on B and that early control platform. But they've got Nico to worry about towards long. They've got a Cillian over towards middle. But they're taking their time. They're trying to waste out a lot of these smokes that SK have, not to mention potentially any of these flashes that's really going to shut them down as they push through.
So far they are pulling a good few out. Still a couple of mollies, one of which has just been thrown by Berry. And through the smoke, Nico, gonna get ballsy again. They actually tagged him up there. Does return a bit of damage, but he's still at 20 HP. Tucks himself in the corner to get Yam. Steals an AK and says thank you very much.
Yeah, they heard that first bullet onto him, and he got behind the nice corner, playing at the edge of the smoke yet again. He's going to fall, and that's going to be Cillian. Me overrun Sponge. He's just not connected to shots, but it's going to be JKS there to help him out. Cadian does get the potential flank coming through. But again, we're going to see an afterplant situation. It's going to be 3-on-3, and Renegades don't have a lot of HP to work with. They do have 2 flashes, though.
Cadian at less than half, but both Sandon and Berry are healthy. Well, healthy, get my words out. I was half a healthy and 1 heavy. I'm not sure where that was coming from. Havoc did get the first, though, and that's Sandon. Sponge off to the side will be dropped easily. He was already low health, which didn't help matters. Cadian will now be last man left alive. Does manage to get one. Can he find JKS here as well? He's sprayed around him. He's basically drawn his outline on the wall there. And well, JKS managing to run enough time down, preventing Cadian from getting in there and getting that bomb defused after he'd killed 4 people that round. It's a valiant effort from Cadian, but not enough. Renegades bring it back to 10-8.
Yes, they do. And their first buy round, most importantly, too. SK going to be able to at least force the buy up off the back of this, it seems. You do have Cadian going to be sitting on a Mag 7, giving the AK over to Cillian, actually over to Nico, and Barry buying up in M4, the FAMAS out of Sandon. So this is going to be a crucial round for SK. They're going to lose their entire lead. It's going to be tied up if they can't secure this.
Mag 7 inside a drop down. Can work for you, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He gets 1 decent shot off there. Maybe gets himself a kill, or at least gets a guy low. And he's probably done his job in this scenario. There's Nico again. It's going to smoke down on Long and again gets clipped, but he just returns a fire through the smoke. Yam going to be annoyed at that one.
Oh yeah, very. I mean, he's going to be pretty frustrated with that. But that's going to be, again, Nico locking down that full control. Cadian, once he sees those flashes coming through, he's just going to pluck them out of the air one by one. But it's only going to be Azur he has to potentially pick up. The rest of the side of Renegades are pushing towards this A side, and I think Cadian might have just heard Azur running away. So might call in for the rotate.
He was just faking. Back though, yeah. He was faking the retreat from drop down. JKS looks like they're going to go towards this B site nonetheless. So Cadian might have some work cut out for him. Havoc's actually walked all the way through into this A site and may catch a rotation or two. Let's see. He's got all the way up here. Sandon has now heard them coming in towards A, so rotations are going to come down. Sponge will find one. Havoc has died over in the A site, so he's no longer available. There's a peek out from Sandon to get one. There's now two left with the bomb planted.
Let's see if they can do anything with this. Sandon still pushed up, has so much information gathered from the angles he's holding, but he gets taken out by JKS. He doesn't expect him on the site. Now it's Sponge in a 1-on-2 back in Chicken Coop with a Galil with 2 kills under his belt for now. He's got a ceiling coming from platform. He's got Nico pushing in from main. I don't know if they're going to check this position. They haven't really bothered so far. The bomb's not really planted for him. Like you said, yeah, no kit at all for them to pick up. They're faking out the defuse, looking for Sponge. He's going to peek around the corner. He's looking for the first one. They're not looking at him, so he's just buying some time, not giving away his position. They're going to run away. This is going to be Renegades picking up the round. Yes, Sponge will go down, but they secure it nonetheless.
Yeah, Nico's going to die in there as well, so he loses out on his gun. And, well, playing the perfect hide-and-seek game, really, Sponge there. I mean, hide-and-seek's an easy game if no one looks where you're hidden, right? So,
true.
In there, SK having to make that decision fairly early on because of the fact there was no kit between the two of them. And they lose that one. It's 10-9, and SK saving all except that AK that Asilium was able to get through from the last round. And again, Nico has pushed all the way up here. We'll see if he can do the magic again with his Deagle.
And very well could. He's in a perfect spot for it. But then again, he's been aggressive so many times in the past, they're almost going to assume he's there. You can see how slow Renegades are pushing actually in this direction. They haven't spotted him out. What a shot on the Yam. Looking for that second on a JKS. He can't connect, and he will be taken down. But this man with the Deagle is a god. And now still going to be picking up the mantle as he comes across from the side. He can't connect either, and JKS able to get 2 quick kills back to back.
Too many in drop down though. And you see Azur saying, nope, do not want, backs away from that after being knocked down to just 20 HP. And Havoc says, hey guys, what about B? I feel like I might have opened up the site. Didn't really do anything to open up the site, but SK were away from this one. Sandon will get boosted up, so he should be able to come in from around the back, but there is a man moving as well over towards B that might come in behind him. There's Azur, didn't even check there. That's an easy frag for Sandon.
It's because of JKS. He's actually over that direction watching it. He didn't peek out in the right time, and that's going to be another kill for JKS. This man on 3 this round, burying Cadian. Cadian trying to save the AK for his team. And Barry just looking for a couple of exit kills. And you can see Nico in chat. I want to win at least 1 map. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen today with the way Renegades are currently playing.
I don't think they're in a charitable mood today. And Australians, I think, in general, are pretty charitable people, but not these 5. They're not giving SK Gaming anything today. Already won 2 games out of 3, of course. And they've now tied this one up at 10 rounds to 10. As we see SK getting money back. I just wanted to check how many rounds. So it's, yeah, 3 in a row here since Renegades have basically had weapons after that early bomb plant in the pistol. You see they've got those guns in hand. Nades coming down to drop down there as well, but actually 3 men spread out around middle and towards A. A little bit of annoyance made over at B as well. So slow start to this one from Renegades. Just want to feel SK out a little.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a nice little difference between Renegades and SK, where SK basically ignored this long A hallway. And because of that, Renegades were able to constantly push people through, but you're seeing Renegades always set up with a kind of a 3-2 split, 3 men watching towards long and middle, 2 over towards B to make sure they don't get too aggressive early on, because then they don't let SK Gaming feel really confident and comfortable. You know, with Renegades constantly pushing long, they knew that they could gather so much information from this position and then just completely flank around behind them at B, and SK, they just can't get in the position that they want currently, as Renegades are slowly pushing up towards long. Ego did just back away as they were coming through, and it's going to come down to Asilian, who's right next to this location, to maybe hold on to this area.
Yeah, he moved at exactly the wrong time there. We can see the Berry already starting to move over there. The flashes coming in. Acilia's going to be taken out there by JKS. There is going to be a peek here from Nico. I think they may have spotted him though. He's going to pop flash over the top as Cadian comes from the side. Gets himself 2 frags. Will reply though. And it's now 3 versus 3. Everyone still pretty healthy. Cadian hot spotted. He will make it now 3. Make that 4. Can he ace here onto Sponge? No, he's taken out. And it's a 1 versus 1. Berry versus Sponge. Look at the timer. Just 10 seconds to go. Sponge has got to pick this one. Berry was mid-air there. He could have maybe taken him down, but he'll get the bomb plant. Buys himself some time and takes down Berry as well. And he's on his feet as well. Sponge, amazing. Puts Renegades in the lead.
You see the smile on the faces of his teammates as the yelling comes out of him. A great job being to pick the one up. Cadian, the 4 kill just wasn't enough, and Berry couldn't clutch it out at the end. Renegades are pumped. 11-10. They do have a lead back in this game since the first round, and looking to completely close this out to take SK 3 times in one day to win a perfect best of 3 and knock SK down to 1 life to join CLG.
Well, flashes are coming into B. They've gone with a bit more tempo this time. Oh, double shot there from Cadian. Takes down Yam and Sponge. He was missing earlier, but I suppose he makes up for it. Taking 2 with 1 bullet there. But they're going to keep pushing. They still want this B side. There's Cadian again. Oh my God. 2 bullets, 4 people for Cadian. You've got to give him the ace at this point. Only JKS remains. And Berry steals it away. Good job, Berry.
Look at Cadian
that
now.
was pretty fantastic stuff. And we said Cadian needs some confidence back, and well, if you need confidence, I don't think he gets much better than that.
Oh God, like you said, he missed quite a few shots earlier, but made up for it easily there. Fantastic job by him tying things up. Thing is, that wasn't even a heavy investment of SK. Cadian was the only one that had a gun. And he was able to pull that one back. So damn well done by this man. And our Renegades back to a tied score with no money to use. Only a Tech 9 out of Havoc. Looking to push on this B side. Cadian's waiting again, looking for some more doubles.
Here we go. He'll only get 1 this time around. Let's see though, he's got Sandon for support. And Sandon now filling his boots full of frags. They make easy work of that push out of Renegades. Of course, he was an eco round for them. But SK Gaming retake the lead here in our final match of the day. Incredible game so far. We're having a pause here. I'm not sure
Tactical
exactly
pause.
where it came from.
That came from Renegades.
It was Renegades, yeah.
Yep. So I think after Sponge clutching that 1v1, after Cadian getting 4, Cadian wasn't happy with just 4 in that round. Comes up with another 4 in the next round. And you can see just the huge switch of energy that SK just gained from that. The phenomenal shots out of that man to lock down that B site, then to do it again, and the great crossfire between him and Sandon just completely shut down that push out of Renegades. And now, Renegades, they need to go back to the drawing board. What do they need to do? They've been working this A site, at least in the initial stages of the rounds, many times. And, yeah, he's got his head in his palm. And he's actually not performing well for his team. He's at 8 and 18. He's been really having a rough game for himself, where you see JKS on 20, Sponge on 19, Azer on 16, and Havoc on 12. On the other side, though, you have Nico at 24. Does this man ever not top frag? And the bottom of their scoreboard, 7 with Berry.
Bit of a spread there, that's for sure, on those bottom 2 guys. But I said this before, Nico, he was the man that really shined when we saw him last time for SK Gaming. If we take away these Renegade performances, I'm talking about yesterday here, in their victory that started off their tournament over CLG on Overpass. And we said earlier, if he gets going, if he's got the freedom to do his stuff, basically, and that's what he's had here, he'll come up big for SK, and he's doing that right here, right now.
You really got to ask, when are we ever going to see him maybe start for Mouse Sports? I mean, there's obviously a lot of controversy around that.
That's a whole new kind of
time and time about it, but this man, I mean, he's playing, with the team. We saw he could do it back with Flipside at ESWC. Like, he's really stepping up, and he's putting on a stellar performance. The only question is, can that performance, as well as Cadian's and Sandon, really help bring them into not having a loss today and picking up a map finally?
Well, let's find out, shall we? We are going to be getting back into game. Pause now, undone. And it's going to be Tech 9s here for Renegades. And the way this game's been going, this is exactly the kind of round that might just bring things back. We also see 2 AWPs, Cadian and Nico here for SK Gaming.
Well, Kaden got his confidence. Nico, he wants to get in on this as well. You can see them pushing through drop down, looking for that push onto the A side. Renegade coming from the backside. He can't connect the first shots. Gets him down solo and help Basilian. He's in a really bad spot. He's going to be pushing from behind and from the front. He's going to spot him out coming from behind, but he can't only get one kill. Now Nico going to get his first kill of the round as Barry responds as well. Now JKS and Yam trying to get that bomb across in towards the site. It's just 2 on 4.
And should be easy for SK Gaming. I mean, looking at the health bars, JKS only got 23, Yam, full health, but no armor. They've got no nades to work with. And to be honest, Yam is kind of stuck here. Down in middle, did get his hands on the M4. JKS, with that little health, is just hoping that he gets lucky from this one. Here comes Nico. Yam's gonna kill him off. Didn't lose a single point of health. That was his second of the round. And now Sandon, Berry and Cadian remain for SK Gaming. 30 seconds on the clock. They're rotating 2 people off towards that B side. If they kill off, it's Berry that they've left there as well, I think.
It is.
It's 28 HP Berry. They've called it now. There's one man coming back, so it's not a firm call from them. Otherwise, they would have brought 2 of them right back here. Bomb going to be planted by Renegades in the dying seconds. Yam's going to peek out. Berry goes down. It's now Sandon and Cadian to win the round.
Keep in mind, this was a save out of Renegades, and yet they're on the brink of picking up this round. Yam comes up big yet again. Cadian in a 1-on-2. They don't have much help to work with. They hear him running out. He's not able to clutch the round. And Renegades pull it back again off the back of a tactical pause and an eco with just Tech9's bought up.
Well, I said at the start of the round, it wouldn't surprise me with how this game is going that this would be a round going towards Renegades. And, well, they do it. It's 12-12. Money-wise, SK were all right for this round, but they're spending pretty much everything they've got on it. Want to bounce right back and cripple Renegade's health as they just chain nade down into middle. And well, Nico was already in there. He's going to die off instantly almost.
Oh my.
Wow. And a nade right to the face of Basilian as he tries to get that AWP. I don't think anyone else is going to try that again yet. It's 2 men down without a single point of health being taken away from Renegades. I don't think they even saw a Renegades player in those first 2 kills.
Not at all. Just smoke completely blocking them off. And now it's going to be a 3-on-5 with Renegades not losing a single point of HP. Cadian, he's got to go huge for his team. They're going to be pushing from middle, they'll be pushing from long. He's got to choose his battles wisely. He has a smoke, he has a Molotov to hold them back. He has Sandon and Barry rotated in to help out as well. There's still 50 seconds on the clock, so Renegades, they do not need to commit to this site. And Cadian is going for the early battle, but he's going to be taken down by Sponge.
Barry here, though, is there to back him up, and he will get one through the smoke. Yam, though, did avenge him, and it's now all on Sandon, who sprayed, got one, but couldn't find the other 2 that were right in front of him. And Renegades, after that eco round win to level us up, have now taken the lead, and they're just 3 away from the win.
And this thing that stems back to the round just prior when that only had the Tech9's Nico. He went for the flank on middle towards Yam. He didn't know if he was actually there, and he got taken down. If he didn't die there, if he didn't try to gather information when they already had the man advantage, that could have went completely different, and SK could have kept that momentum, that high within their team. But now, on the brink of going into match point, Cadian, with a nice boost up, does get the first kill on Azur. Not able to rescue the gun, most importantly.
Nice little boost for them. And just as the Renegades managed to win on the eco to tie it up, can SK Gaming do the same here? Wisely, Yam is sat way back. Doesn't want a face full of CZ bullets. Or, you know, Nico's Deagle that's probably got about 45% accuracy. Just, you know, random number off the top of my head there.
Sounds close enough.
I mean, he could even be closer to 100, to be honest. He's been hitting some sick shots with that today. But let's not forget, there's no armor for SK. And these AKs, if played right, should be enough for Renegades. Berry now is going to start to push on through. Yam's already gone, though. They should be able to call this one now that this bomb is going to be headed towards B. Question is how fast the Renegades go. They got 34 seconds. They finally start to get the mollies and flashes out.
They're straight in front of the CZ. This is going to be so dangerous. 25 seconds left on the clock. Can't even spot the first one. He's not going to shoot. They're not going to see him. He's going to look at 2 people. And the third, he gets the first kill. He can't get the second as he gets taken down. That could have completely shut down the round, but SK is still fighting back. It's a 2-on-2. They don't have the gun just yet, but they know exactly where they both are.
Well, Sponge will be watching here. Can he get Sandon? He will tag him down and finish him off with the headshot. And now Basilian surely got no hope. Ooh, headshot onto Sponge. He's got an AWP. 1 shot here to tie us up. Not that shot, though. That was into the middle of nowhere. He will sit on the defuse. He's going to get peeked here by Havoc, who will win the round for the Renegades and put them 14-12 in the lead. SK have to win the wall now on the bounce if they want to win this one without an overtime.
God, that was so close too. If Cadian could have picked up those 2 kills cleanly, that could have went easily their way. But Sponge with a fantastic 180 to stop that from happening. But here we go into the bye round. SK, they do not have an AWP. Yam going to be sitting with his own over towards middle. And the rest of SK, they need to pick up some kills. They need this round. This is going to be it for them. They'll be down to 1 life if they can't do this.
Cadian has been in boost. In drop down, I feel like almost every single round. Got the kill off the boost in the last round, and they again drop a nade onto him. And we've seen, you know, chain grenades from Renegades down into middle. They did it on the CT side fairly often. Quite surprised to, you know, not see 2 or maybe 3 drop down just to see if they actually can pick up Cadian. But
I'm actually surprised they're not being a little bit more aggressive towards drop down in terms of SK boosting. It already worked for Cadian. Nico. Oh, he's going to be completely bunny. He has a cylinder here to back up. They're not going to expect the second man. Yes, they will.
Oh,
they
wow.
get him. JKS shuts him down, and Cadian's going to be the only man to defend onto A with Barry rotating.
oh, they didn't have a gun out there running with grenade in hand. They do exchange on that one, but of course Renegades getting the better of the situation are in a 4 versus 2. There is Berry. He will pick off Yam. Bomb though, he's going to the B side, and it's Sandon up by the tree to pull it off here for SK Gaming. Berry's going to come around. They've lost Sandon already. There is Berry. He will bring it back to a 1 versus 1. It's 40 HP for Berry, and he's going to lose out. And that is going to be game point here for Renegades. SK Gaming got it all to do. Sadly for them, they've hardly got any cash to spend.
And can this be Renegades taking 3 lives straight off SK in 1 day? They put them at the bottom with CLG. They're looking like they can pull this one off. You have a scout out of Cadian, 2 Famasas, a Digo out of Nico, which should practically be an off for this man so far, and a Cillian with the 5-7. They have the kit. They have a couple of nades to work with. The question comes, where are they going to go? They have a 3-man stack towards A with 2 men towards middle. Nico just solo holding. Oh, what a shot out of Cadian on a JKS. That opens things up wide.
It's no 2 bullets. 4 kills, but it'll do for the start here for Cadian. See Havoc pushing through long. Sandon is defending that one from the box. They have 1 man sat back. I'm assuming that's going to be Yam looking down towards long A. And the bomb, though, is still looking like it's going to be coming B. There's a smoke, I think, just been sent out there. There's a smoke down and drop down as well. As more flashes come through. Renegades here, gonna push through window. He doesn't get the kill. Berry will drop. It's now 4 versus 4. Here's Nico though. Deagle to the head of Sponge. Gets the AK. Drops Hazler as well. Can he find number 3? He does, and a Cillian comes in. SK Gaming are not done just yet.
They're not done at all. 15-13. They still have the chance to pull it in overtime. Renegades, how much money do they have? Not a lot, but you know what? They have the Tech 9s. They've done it just a couple of rounds prior. And SK, they need to hold on. 2 more rounds is all they need to throw in overtime for the first time at the Intel Extreme Masters Gamescom. Let's see, Renegades, how are they going to go about this round? You do have Nico with the AWP watching towards long. He's pretty much made this area his own, but there's a 3-man push quickly over towards middle. Sin able to get the first, burns the man on the second. Havoc falls. And that's going to be Azur and JKS pushing towards long, straight to Nico. The bomb, though, is on Sponge, going towards B to get this money, to get this income.
Well, Cillian knows that one's there. He's had that Tech 9 firing away. Azur's down, and there's the combination to finish the round. And it all comes down to the final one here. Out of 30, it's 15-14 to the Renegades. Let's not forget, the second map that they played today was Mirage. It ended 16-14 in favor of the Renegades. Can SK Gaming bounce back and throw us into overtime?
Well, here we go. A big push over towards the B site. Renegade trying to get that early control towards platform, leaving the bomb there as well. And they're going to run Azur straight through it. Takes quite a bit of damage, 21 HP from that.
Risking it here. That bomb, that grenade, actually not doing as much damage as I thought. Must have landed on the front side of the site there. Double AWP defense once again for SK Gaming. Cadian, oh, he's got a grenade in hand there. He's just throwing the molly off. And he will still land the shot onto Azur as he scopes back into it. I think that might be enough to scare Renegades away from this B site completely.
Sponge is still there with the bomb, though. Maybe looking to rotate back towards A, where Yam and JKS are already waiting. SK still have 4 men towards this B site, leaving Nico to his own devices over towards A. And he has an AK and he has an op there, so he can switch back and forth. He can take that first shot, switch back to the AK where they get close proximity, wait for his teammates to rotate back in. But with 40 seconds to go on the clock, Renegades have to make their move soon. They're hoping Havoc or they're hoping Yam can get an early kill on one of these sites.
Well, Nico will be one of the defenders here. He's got 29 kills to his name. They know Cadian's position. And that man behind the box, Cadian has picked off Havoc. 3 men remaining here for Renegades. It's looking like overtime. Can the 3 remaining players come up big? Yam starts the fragging off there, taking down Asilian. But there is Nico. His 30th kill of the game does ring in. Sponge off to the left. He will be picked off. It's now all on Yam. He's gone through here. He's going to loop all the way around the back of them. He's got 9 seconds remaining. It's close range with the AWP. 3 seconds to go. The bomb down. He tries to spray them, but SK Gaming have forced us through into the first overtime here in the Intel Extreme Masters Gamescom.
Oh, with no time there, unfortunately, Yam couldn't pull it off, but a great kill on to Barry. But yeah, like you're saying, we're going into overtime. We're going to have to go over the score lineups for both teams. We have Nico on 30 frags, Cadian at 28, really coming up big for his team with the 2 double kills in 1 round. On the other side, we have Havoc at 14 kills, Azure at 18, then leading up to 23 out of Sponge and JKS. And you can see Renegades not too happy with how that game turned out. After that tactical pause, they pulled a fantastic Tech 9 round, but they just seemed to lose steam. Nico coming up huge with so many shots. And again, Cadian just constantly locking down that B site.
And you see the difference here in just how these 2 teams are looking, you know.
Yeah.
SK Gaming, we saw Cadian jumping up after getting those 4 kills. Funnily enough, a round or 2 just after Sponge was on his feet after pulling off the clutch.
It's the next round, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it was a round right after. And since then, it's looking like SK Gaming are the team that are in better shape. But that could, of course, all change here. Going into a MR3, 10K start money overtime. Just to run you down the scoreboard a little bit, as I mentioned in that round, Nico hit 30 frags there.
Yep.
Said he had to go big. He's gone rather large, that's for sure, in this one. Cadian also with 28. Barry ended with 12 kills. He was not really into it there, but I don't know. SK Gaming, I mean, Barry is making these calls. He's managed to pull his team back in for an overtime. On the other side, Yam really stepped it up as well. I remember at one point, with maybe 5 or 6 rounds to go, he had 7 kills. He finished with 20 kills.
Yeah, did a fantastic job in that game. And, you know, nothing's going to feel better for SK than finally beating Renegades after losing 2 straight to keep your 2 lives left. And, of course, Renegades onto that 1 life, or CLG would be joining them. So a lot of action to come. Like you said, MR3, 10K start money, and we're going to be keeping their side. So SK is going to maintain that CT side. Renegade's going to maintain the T. And I feel like SK finally got a good read on Renegades after that, you know, half got underway. Like after the initial couple of rounds, they finally figured out what to do. Were able to claw themselves back. You know, that first half scoreline of 8-7 for SK, it really kind of helped because there's so many rounds where it could have gone either way.
SK Gaming, final little chat here before they sit down, kick off the overtime. Of course, you stay on the team that you've just finished the half of, so SK will be starting CT side for the first 3 rounds. And then we'll switch back over. SK looking happy. Renegades looking worried, to be honest.
Well, trying to think about exactly how Renegades, or SK actually most important. No, Renegades are actually going to go about this T side because they've gone long multiple times, long A, and Nico's picked up at least 1 kill almost every single time, whether he was playing, you know, on the edge of a smoke, whether he had a deagle in his hands or an op. He was able to really put the pain down and really make his life worth it.
But you also have to think as well, is it worth pushing that spot to trade for Nico? Because he's a guy that can put 2, 3, 4, 5 kills even on the board in a single round. If you trade off for him, it might even be worth it to just storm on through into that A side. We're going to find out, though, as we are now back into game for the first round of overtime here between Renegades and SK Gaming. It's a single AWP this time in defense. Looks like 2 people Gonna get off towards drop down. Couple of flashes, they messed it up.
Yeah, they did. They blinded themselves, but they're still going to come through nonetheless. It's still going to be off to side crouch down where we saw Azure before. He's not going to get blinded from this. He's going to pick up the first kill. He's going to get the second onto Havoc. A fantastic job by him. But unfortunately, the bomb, it's moving towards A. Nico still back, tucked in on the site. More towards balcony, has a Slim rotating in as well. They're going to be smoked off, and this is going to be Renegades looking to get this bomb across. But will Nico land his shots? He gets blinded up completely, gets smoked out as well from that grenade. But they still have a minute on the clock to get the bomb there.
Well, they've dealt with Nico. That was a big threat for SK Gaming. AWP is out of action. And there are 4 men still remaining for this SK team. Sponge, JKS, and Yam still alive for Renegades. You see SK, they're waiting. They've got 1 man looping around the back here to give him some support. That will be Berry, who's going to come up from mid, and he's going to catch Sponge, paying no attention there in the corner. Massilian will come out of balcony, and they're doing it really, really well here, SK Gaming. JKS still alive. He sprayed down 2, but another 2 were there for the taking. Couldn't pull it off, and SK Gaming win their first round here on CT side of overtime.
Still did a fantastic job by that man to just stay alive, pick up those 2 quick big kills on drop down, even with the missed flashes. Renegades were able to get control of that, but not able to get the push through like they wanted to. So now going to the second round of overtime. Nico back on the AWP. Also 2 successful on the round prior. And the rest of SK have everything they could hope for. Renegades, they have to be careful. You know, going to the final round of the first half of overtime could be really risky if they've invested too much money into too many guns in the for initial 2. But Nico, he's had his opportunity up against Sponge if he just pushes through.
Wouldn't like to be in Sponge's position. Makes the jump, gets through cleanly. We know that Sponge is there. Azak going to be making some noise over by Long. That Molotov coming in was hopped away from by Berry just in time. Only lost 3 HP from that one. Yamia going to be setting up that smoke over towards balcony. Let's see how this one goes then. Asilian gonna play up close and personal for this one. We saw him in this position last time. Nico there with the AWP as the smokes finally start to bloom out. But Asilian has got him behind them. He's gonna deal with Yam. There's Havoc as well. And SK Gaming are cleaning house.
As the Arbor Sponge finally able to respond, it's gonna be Azra on the rotate as well, but he can't get the backstab through. And out Sponge in a 1-on-4. He's got the time to work with, but does he have the shots? And it looks like he will. Nico will shut him down, and SK currently up 2-0 in this first half of overtime.
Looking good for SK Gaming. Enough money saved here for the Renegades to have another full-on bite.
The thing is, Asilian has played these first 2 rounds of overtime so damn well. He was sneaky over towards drop down and sneaky right there towards the wall. He's been doing a fantastic job in this first initial half of overtime, and if he keeps his pace up, we could be seeing a 3-0 and potentially SK finally pulling out a victory.
Look at this though, it's a change of pace for the Renegades. They've thundered on towards this B-bomb site. Big flashes coming in. They lose Sandon. Cadian's got to be big here from the chicken coop. He's going to be burning though. He needs to move out of it. Yam will drop him down. 3 men left alive here for SK. Yam blinding the smoke will kill Asilian. And just like that, a big fast rush in towards B has worked out for the Renegades. Only Nico left alive. He's going to be pushing drop down. You miss one, you don't get another chance. It's 17-16 at the half in favor of SK.
All right, so SK now need 2 rounds to close us out. Renegade need 2 to at least make things into a second overtime at a minimum, as they will be swapping sides. Now, this is where SK really struggled. Think back to that first half, and it was a long time ago, but they would always go for that B control, that platform control, and when they couldn't grab onto that, that's when they started to drop rounds constantly. So the question comes to this: can they push A successfully? Are they going to bother going towards long and middle? Will they go for maybe a 3-2 split to catch out Renegades, catch them off guard? Well, yeah, most importantly, be able to step up on CT side this time, because like you said before, he only had 7 kills at the end of the first half, and he was bottom fragging for his team.
Let's find out, shall we? Will be Cadian with an AWP. Here is Yam up close. He's going to get 1. Can't quite get any more there, though. But he does a lot of damage with the USP. He's done his job. Look at Asilian and Nico. They've got hardly anything else. Health, 23 HP between the 2 of them after that. And that leaves SK in a pretty
They're not going to expect
position.
This is Sponge pushing
Why
so
would
aggressively.
A second man now be pushing there?
Oh my, he's going to get right behind them. They know they're going B.
Oh my gosh. Don't make a sound here, Sponge. You literally have the entire round in your hands here. Nico is going to be dropped. They now know that he's behind them, but he's going to molly it off anyway. He knows where they are, so he's got all the information he needs. Has to just quickly switch away there from the flash. Sandon is going to be spotted. Sandon does get the better of him, but he's done a lot of damage to him as well. Sandon's only got 6 HP. Havoc knows where the bomb is. There's a flash out, and they're going to come jumping over the top of him. Cadian at half health as well. And well, Sandon has said, I don't fancy B anymore, boys. I'm off.
He's going to get the control of this area, but he only has 6 HP. He's going to smoke it off. You can see Renegades, they've committed towards this B push. They push Havoc through, realizing, oh crap, it's going towards Acadians. He's going to be able to get this bomb towards site. It comes down to, can Sandon kill JKS before JKS kills Cadian and getting the bomb there? He's got 10 seconds left to go. The bomb will be planted. And here we go, 2-on-2 at plant situation. I don't think they're going to expect Havoc to be coming in from middle.
Well, Havoc is going to come over. Cadian is on the spot, and I think he might be an easy angle here. He will tuck himself a little bit further back. Will eventually look over towards the wall. He gets dinked down to 32. There's a peek out. Sandon has got the kill onto JKS, and there is Cadian to take down Havoc. And SK Gaming move up to 18-16 and match point.
What a decision by SK to run that bomb back towards A. Renegade just committing a little bit too much time there. Now they're 1 round away from being knocked down to 1 life. Here we go, potentially the final round of overtime. And we see Cadian with the op in hand.
No super aggression this time from Renegades. I think once is enough. Probably not going to fall for it a second time. But Yam is pushed pretty far up there. Make no mistake about that one. He's not leaving the control completely of that middle area. I think Cadian's just spotted him there as well. Whether he saw Cadian or not, I'm unsure of. SK are moving slow here. It's looking like B may very well be the target. Sicilian already pushing in. Smoke will bloom to obscure vision and make sure that SK are pushing blindly into that site if they go for it. Cadian's just going to have a peek around the edges of the smoke. Is there a man on platform? There isn't a man there for the taking. I mean, there is a man on platform, but he's not peeking out just yet, but there is one. Cadian will get the kill onto Havoc. It's 5v4. Here comes the second, though. Cillian takes down Azza, who got one in between. He has sponged. He got one, but he turned away before the others came through. And now JKS and Yam, 2 versus 3. They know that they're coming out of drop down. He's going to be blind, though. Sandon will get the kill. Here is Yam from the back, though. He's surely going to kill a Cillian with a nade. Yes, he will. 1v2. Both Sandon and Berry, full HP to win the game here for SK Gaming. And Berry has played this one smart. Already pushing through to window, but Yam is already out. He's going to spray towards Sandon, but Sandon gets the better of him, and you can see what that means to SK Gaming here. Finally, they take down Renegades after losing 2 games to them already today. Do it in overtime to stay alive in the tournament, and maybe even more importantly, to push Renegades down to just 1 remaining life with CLG, which may very well just be an early game tomorrow where one of those teams will knock each other out.
So many great individual plays from both teams there. Cadian coming up big with 2 back-to-back 4Ks, with one of the rounds being 2 double op kills. Sponge with fantastic 1v1 clutch after their tactical pause. And you just saw what you could see on Cadian's face, what it meant to them for that game.
Smashing victory there for SK Gaming. Real intense one. We're going to head over, though, to Chobra, Demon and Natu to break down that amazing matchup.
What a match. Holy moly. Going into overtime for the first time here at the Intel Extreme Masters. And of course, I mean, SK finally getting the revenge they wanted. Takes a life away from Renegades and makes sure that Renegades is the one that remains with only 1 life alongside CLG, not themselves. What do you have to say about that match? I mean, we were getting our minds blown one way or another throughout this whole game.
I mean, it's another one of those where you're like, oh, how do you analyze that? But yeah, there's a few moments there, like, definitely felt to me like SK was on the driver's seat for the most part of it, all the way up until Renegades took that
2v4 eco.
Yeah, that timeout, and then won a 2v4 on an eco, and then won this wild run when they were up 15-12-ish, and SK came back, and again, they took the driver's seat on overtime. A lot of crazy things happening. Cadian's double-double.
Cadian.
When does that ever happen?
The defuse once again. The defuse where he couldn't quite land the pistol shots, tried to go in for the knife. There were so many crazy things in this game.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a good way to end day 2.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun way to end. And like you said, I mean, Cadian showed up, and you could see he was just feeding off of that game, feeding off of the energy of the crowd and everything around here right now.
To be fair, he needed to, because if you look at Mirage, those few errors they made were kind of his. So he's actually like made up for his losses. And of course, the first loss for SK today, finally.
Definitely. Like, Cadian was not sure about the scoreboard where he was sitting, but he had a lot of impact frags, a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
All over the map as well. Nico, he was dominant. He was above 30 frags. Everyone will be talking about him, but you gotta give credit to Cadian for a job well done.
Yeah, they were fantastic. It was. Like you say, it was that I feel the double-double. That was it. That was the change. Suddenly, that moment, it just set them up. And you saw what it meant for Cadian as well. Obviously, at the end, roar into the crowd. Obviously, reacting. Sponge doing the same thing. So interesting to see how the politics are going to sway on this one.
Yeah, because you could see
SK in control now.
Both teams were very, like you said, Cadian and Sponge, like constantly whenever they made those plays or their teammates made those plays, you saw them with the emotional reactions in the booth. You could see what that meant because, again, this was a game to decide which other team goes down to 1 life. Let's take a recap look here at what happened in day 2 and where we stand so far with our last man standing tournament at the Intel Extreme Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, so now we have 2 teams, and look at this, Renegades has now actually played the most matches out of everyone. They've played 5 matches, and then they've really held on to those 2 lives for quite some time. But now they go down to 1 life, and of course CLG with 1 life early on. But we talked to Hayes Sterling. They're already in the mindset of, you know what, we just got to play the game at this point, not think about matchups or anything like that. And we've got some other results here too. Of course, Mao's getting taken down to 2 lives. That's something to talk about. Getting a bit of an upset, of course, on Dust 2 from TSM. I mean, not upset as in necessarily matchup, but people were expecting Mao's to perform a lot stronger given what they were doing yesterday.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That was a lackluster performance from Mao's. We expect a lot more. Their Dust 2 CT was just nowhere to be found compared to what we've seen from before.
I think we're going to need a new graphic as well because there's going to be a lot more matches coming in there. But you can already see it developing. We might actually get this crazy situation where we come into tomorrow or the end of tomorrow or the last day where we could have Envy on 4 lives and TSM on 3 lives. It could be an entire day's worth of TSM versus Envy.
That could very well happen. Let's think about the scenarios here a little bit before we wrap up, because ladies and gentlemen, you guys can vote all night on what you want the first map to be tomorrow for day 3. Again, the maps reset. The map will reset each day. So Renegades just played and SK just played. They don't have to play the very first match, and SK will have their choice of matchup. What do you think?
It's gonna be Envy Mouse Sports.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd assume that would be what it is because they really want to get a life off Envy, but they're not going to be too bothered if they get a mouse balls down to 1 life.
At the same time, though, do you think? Okay, do you think maybe they can get a little greedy here and they say, well, you know what? We want to knock someone else out first. Like Cadian
they could just
spoke
give
about that.
TSM CLG.
They could either give TSM CLG at the same time. They could try to really expand their network, try to survive until day 4 and be like, hey, Mouse, we'll give you CLG, and if you win, you can pit Envy and Renegades against each other, and then just knock Renegades out too, because then SK automatically goes to 4th place. I mean, sure, you might have to play TSM afterwards, but you get 4th place by just creating connections. By networking.
A lot of networking going to be going on tonight in the bar, and I feel in the hotel that's definitely going to be going on. Something is going to change, I feel, in these alliances.
I'm just saying, I think there's definitely some options here. I mean, you said, of course, if you're trying to think here to keep the Alliance strong and everything in the big picture, yes, you would put Mouse versus Envy together. You have nothing to lose in that matchup. Maybe Envy loses a life. If not, still better for both you and TSM. But at the same time, if SK want to have a little bit of a greedy angle there, try to get CLG out of the tournament, and then try to then gun for Renegades against a strong opponent. Definitely some fun stories and options for day 3. This is panning out to be a lot more exciting than maybe some people thought coming into this week.
Well, I mean, obviously, we had no idea how this format. We knew what the format was like. It took us a while ourselves to try and get it clear in our own heads and then explain it to the teams. But Nobody knew how the format was going to work out, whether it was going to be fun, whether it was going to be a deadpan, but it's turning out to be brilliant. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely bringing life out of the teams, I feel, that you don't ordinarily see, because often it'd be like they turn up, they play, they win or lose, and they go again.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be ready all the time. You never know when you're actually going to play. You don't know which maps you're going to be playing. You don't know who you're going to be playing against. Those are the normal things you're always going to be knowing about. So that's like a whole different kind of scenario to be involved with. And I think the teams are happy. Like, you got to appreciate the attitude of these teams. Everyone's been super positive about the system, which I think is great.
Yeah,
they're having fun with it. I mean, they've wrapped their heads around it. Finally on day 2, they're like, we could have a lot of fun with this outside of the game. Try to have some fun. Try to make some newer friends here among our colleagues. Because before you were kind of friends out of necessity because you're always meeting each other playing the same game. But now you're like, well, we could get a little bit more friendly here. Let's make this a new chapter here in our relationship between two teams. Of course, like Envious and Renegades going strong with that one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, don't forget to vote overnight if you're here in Europe. Of course, if you're in other time zones, maybe you're just waking up. Make sure you vote and see which map gets to be played for game number 1 of day 3. Again, you just go over to esl.gg/IEM vote, and you'll get to have your say.
Yeah, and you got to think of the map voting of like, who do they want to win? If TSM fans are out there and they want to see Lives Off Envy, you would assume there'd be a mass vote for Overpass, so that wall is stacked out with Overpass votes.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, they can pick. Obviously, bear in mind, SK are making the pick choice tomorrow, so they could put Envy versus Mouse on Overpass if that comes out. So there's a number of options that they're going to be looking at tomorrow based on what map first gets drawn.
Yeah, I think Overpass as a map would be if you want to take Lives out of Envy. And then it doesn't really matter after that what matchup is going to be. Overpass would be a great map. So,
yeah, I mean, maybe even TSM, you talk to them today, SK talks to them, and they say, well, actually, if Overpass comes up, we'll play it. Like, we'd be willing to try to take that life off.
TSM are great on Overpass.
I think they would be like, you know what? Let's get that out of the way. Let's take that life off of Envy and then try to cruise through the rest of day 3. Lots of options here. Tell us what you guys think, of course, on Twitter with hashtag IEM. Tell us what you think on Facebook. Go ahead and catch a lot of the games. If you missed any of it, especially that last one, head over to plays.tv. You'll be able to catch the full VODs, the highlights, and some neat little videos, all from the Intel Extreme Masters. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in yet for another day here at Gamescom. We have 2 more days left. Day 3 and day 4 still remains for now. All 6 teams also still remain, but that's definitely changing tomorrow. I think we're going to go down to at least 5, maybe even 4.
I think 3.
By the end of
I think 3 tomorrow.
3?
I think 3.
Oh, it's very possible.
It's possible. Well,
I think people are suddenly going to be dropping tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to get 3.
I think some relationships are going to be broken at some point.
Yeah, tomorrow's where we're going to see the tears and the feelings being broken and the hate coming out. We could see that hearts broken maybe on day 3 here at Gamescom. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Also, got a nice little gift for you guys. If you hang around after the commercial break, we do have the Intel Iris Pro show match coming right after this.